So I'm going to talk about bands that I dislike. And by dislike, I don't mean hate. I just mean I'm not a fan of them. I might like a few of their songs, and I respect them, but bulk of their material I just can't get into. So let's start with Deftones. This is a band that I think for the last probably 15 years I've just heard and just can't get into. And I think for the longest time I tried convincing myself it was just the fact that I don't like the vocalist. But that's clearly not the case. I mean, there's bands with vocalists of similar styles that I like and with similar songwriting and themes. So it's not the vocals. I'm completely perplexed as why I'm not a fan of this band. I can't think of any reason really. I'm not a fan. I just can't get into their songs, and that's the honest truth. Like I remember so many friends telling me that because I like bands at the time, like Radiohead, for example, and some earlier like new metal alternative bands that they went, oh, you have to like Deftones then, because they're pretty much the alternative metal version of Radiohead. So I thought, hey, I'll give them a listen. And it just never clicked. And I thought also at the time that, maybe I'll just get into them later after multiple listens or through the years. And all these years later, I still can't call myself a Deftones fan. It's puzzling, but it's true. Not a fan of Deftones. Another one is Cannibal Corpse. Now, I'm a death metal fan. I like my music heavy, and Cannibal Corpse is one of those defining bands of brutal, heavy. They're the band that, put like zombies as a theme for death metal. What could be better than that? And for some reason, I just never got into them. And I'm talking both vocalists here, both Barnes and Corpse Grinder. No matter who's the vocalist, I can't get into it. I tried Tombs of the Mutilated. It wasn't for me. I don't know if it's just that I find all their songs sound the same and it bores me. I don't know, but not a fan of Cannibal Corpse. Another one's Typo Negative. Yeah. I just find I don't know if it doesn't resonate with me. I find it. I don't know what I feel about Typo Negative at all. It's odd. Like I tried listening to them on my way to work, or tried listening to them in my car driving. Different places. Maybe it would click. Like, all right. Sometimes that happens. You listen to an album in a different way, and you hear it in a different way, and then you're like, oh, now I get it. It's never happened with Typo Negative. I still don't get it. Disturbed. Now, I remember Disturbed very early on, in my early days of Metalhead, because they burst onto the scene at the same time as all the other bands that I was into. So I thought, for certain, I have to be a fan of Disturbed, but it never happened. All my friends liked Disturbed in high school as well, and I was the only one that just wasn't. And like I say, this isn't a hate thing. I listened to their songs, and some of them, I was perfectly happy with it being played. I just never went out in my own time and listened to them. I never got compelled to do that. Yep. I know, nothing exciting there, but hey, we all have these bands where you don't hate them and they fit the genre, but for one reason or another, they just don't become a band that you want to follow. And the last one is probably Rage Against the Machine. Now, this is the oddest one because I have all their albums. And before I was a metalhead, I was in fact a fan of rap music. Now, I was a fan of rock before rap, and I had heard metal bands. Iron Maiden, to me, was almost like rock, so I wasn't even aware at that time that I was listening to metal. I just thought it was another rock band like Queen and Meatloaf. So I, in fact, did listen to metal very early on, but I didn't class myself as a metalhead until much later. So after I was a rock fan, I got into rock music. And then somewhere like mid-high school, I started getting into metal and then became a metalhead. So I thought for certain Rage Against the Machine, being that they're rap and rock/metal, that'd be an easy one for me to be like, yeah. But no, in fact, I think that's the reason that I didn't get into them. I think when I was more of a rap fan, when I heard them, his lyrical ability wasn't for me. I was listening to, at the time, people like Cannabis and Rakim and Immortal Technique. So the singer of Rage Against the Machine, his lyrical ability to me at the time was like, nah, this ain't good enough. And then when I got into metal, I started getting into heavier stuff, Rage Against the Machine's like rap rock thing was also not for me. So unfortunately, she's put me off. Then you had it. It's like nearly midnight and I get a phone call. Yeah, cheers. But yeah, what I'm trying to say, I think it's too on the fence. Like, so I literally went from here with rap to here with metal, and Rage Against the Machine were like there in this rap rock position that I just never really hit the base on. But yeah, so those are just some bands that are well respected in the industry and have a massive fan base, and I thought, yeah, those would be bands that I'd also like, but I, for one reason or another that I just said, never got into them, and it's a mystery, and maybe one day it'll click. But for now, please like, subscribe, and leave in the comments any other bands that you feel that you dislike, but you feel that you should like them, and it's a mystery to you, and let me know the reasons. Peace.